One minute he's warm, the next minute he feels like a stranger, no calls, no "how was your day," no showing up like before, and you think he's finished. But listen close, because that's not always what it means. Sometimes when a man starts really liking you, when feelings hit him that he didn't plan for, that's when he backs up. Not because he doesn't care, because it got real. He feels like he's not in control anymore. And a lot of men are addicted to control. They like the upper hand. They like acting unbothered. But when you touch something deep in him, something that hasn't been touched in a long time, it shakes him. He starts asking himself, why am I thinking about her this much? Why does she have this power over me? And instead of leaning in, he retreats. Vulnerable is a scary place for someone who was taught to stay tough and stay silent. So he gets cold, he gets dry, he gives one-word replies. Here's the twist most people miss. He may be distant because he's hooked, not because he's done. Stay with me, because what he does next tells the real story. Source. When his emotions start pulling him in, he tries to pull space in. That's his move. Distance feels like safety to him. He tells himself the feelings will fade if he steps back. But the truth is, the pull doesn't disappear just because he created space. He's sitting alone wondering what you're doing, who you're with, and why he can't stop replaying you in his head. He might still be watching you, still going through your pictures late at night, still talking about you to his friends. And even if he acts like you never cross his mind, he's probably typing a message, then deleting it. Because reaching out feels like admitting he still feels something, and his pride doesn't want to fold. So he fights a quiet war inside himself, desire on one side, fear on the other. He wants closeness, but he's scared of how much you affect him, scared that needing you makes him look weak. So he backs up and hopes the feelings die, but they don't. And sometimes what looks like the end is really the start of something he doesn't know how to handle yet. Don't skip this next part. Source. Now look at sign 1. He acts unbothered, but he's watching. He scrolls past your posts like he doesn't care. No likes, no comments, nothing you can screenshot and say, aha. But that doesn't mean you're invisible. It means he's careful. Some men have a pride that says, I won't let her know she still has power over me. So he stays quiet on purpose while your name stays in his search bar, your photos stay saved. Your laugh still pops up in his mind when the room gets quiet at night. Sign 2. He goes silent, but stays curious. You think he ghosted, but he's lurking, checking stories from a backup page, replaying old messages, rereading conversations from when it was easy and sweet. Sign 3. He looks for proof you moved on. He's hunting for signs you miss him, or that somebody else is getting your time. And when he sees something that hits too close, he may not react out loud, but inside he's burning, jealousy, regret, and that "I messed up" feeling creeping in. If you felt that random energy like he's watching even when he's quiet, keep listening. Source sign 4. His friends already know you. You meet them and they act casual, but they know details they shouldn't know unless he's been talking. What you drink, what you do, what you hate. And you can feel it when you walk in. Sometimes the room gets oddly quiet. People glance at each other, then at you like, so this is her. That silence speaks, because when a man is caught up, your name slips out in stories, jokes, little memories. You become part of his language. His boys notice the tone shift, the half smile, the pause when you come up. They saw him check his phone more. They saw him turn down other options like it wasn't even tempting. They saw him soften. And if he tries to downplay you now like you were nothing, that can be pure ego protection. He's not always being honest. He might be hurt. He shrugs and says, "We don't talk like that," but never says how loud that silence feels to him. He might even get annoyed when friends mention you like, "Why bring her up?" But what he's really saying is, stop reminding me of what I lost. Wait, because the next sign is sneaky and people miss it every time. Source sign 5, he mirrors you. When a man is hooked but can't say it, he starts matching your energy like a reflection. You stop texting first, he stops too. You stop liking his posts, he suddenly pulls back on yours. You take longer to reply, now he takes longer too. That's not random, that's imitation. It's his way of staying connected without being exposed. A man who doesn't care, won't track your patterns. He won't adjust to your mood. He won't match your silence. But a man who's emotionally tied in, he studies you. He locks onto your rhythm. You post confident captions, he suddenly posts like that too. You post something about letting go, he posts something about second chances. Not because he's trying to be cute, because he's responding without responding. And when you go quiet for real, when you stop chasing, stop fixing, stop checking in, that silence makes him uncomfortable. He won't call, but he'll view your story fast. He won't text, but he'll post something he knows will make you wonder. He wants you to break the silence first, so he doesn't have to admit he was waiting. If you're still here, you're ready for the next one. Source, sign 6. The random check-in shows up right when you start moving on. Like clockwork, you finally feel lighter and boom, hey stranger, just checking on you. How you been? And you think, why now? Because he felt your absence. That check-in is not always about real conversation. It's about access. He wants to know if the door is still open, if you'll still answer, if he still has a place in your world. That late night message isn't an accident. It's a weak moment. It's him sitting in silence, wondering if you still think about him the way he thinks about you. A man who's truly done doesn't need to test the water. That's not closure. That's curiosity mixed with ego. He wants warmth without stepping fully into the fire. He wants the security of knowing you're there, without giving you the security of knowing he is. So he pokes, he taps, he checks the temperature, just enough to stir you, not always enough to fix what he broke. Don't confuse those check-ins with commitment. Sometimes it's control wearing a cute outfit, and the last sign goes even deeper. Don't click away yet. Source sign 7. He acts like he moved on, but you still live in the background of his life. He can post pictures, laugh with friends, smile for a camera, and still be missing something inside. Because when you leave an emotional mark on someone, it doesn't erase easily. A song comes on and you appear in his mind. He drives past a place you both knew, and it hits him in the chest. He sees someone laugh a certain way, and for a split second, he hears you. Even if he's around someone new, you become the comparison. You become the standard. He says he's fine, but let him be alone. Let the noise turn down. And that's when your name gets loud in his head. He remembers details you forgot, small things, little habits, the way your voice changed when you were excited. And sometimes he wants to reach out and say, I still think about you. But pride blocks the words. He carries the memory quietly, hoping it gets lighter, but it doesn't. Love like that doesn't stay buried. It shows up in hesitation, in flinches when someone mentions you, in late night scrolling when he thinks nobody sees. Some people don't fade, they echo. And if he's acting distant, don't automatically assume you meant nothing. Sometimes it means you meant too much, and he's still trying to figure out what to do with that. Source. 1 minute he's sweet and close, the next minute you feel like you're texting a stranger. No call, no how was your day, no effort like before, and your mind goes straight to, he's done with me. But hold up, that is not always what it is. Sometimes a man pulls back when he starts feeling more than he planned to feel. He doesn't run because he's empty. He runs because it got real. He feels his control slipping. And a lot of men are raised to treat control like safety. They like being the calm one, the cool one, the one who decides the pace. But then you show up and touch a part of him that hasn't been touched in a long time. Now he's thinking about you at random times, in the shower, driving, late at night, and it scares him because he didn't give himself permission to care this much. So instead of leaning closer, he steps back. Because closeness brings feelings, and feelings make him feel exposed. If you've ever wondered why he got cold right after he got close, stay right here. That shift is not always the ending. Sometimes it's the beginning of something deeper than he knows how to handle. Source. When his emotions get involved, he starts feeling vulnerable. And vulnerability is not something many men were taught to manage. They were taught to be strong, keep it moving, don't talk too much, don't show too much. So when you hit a nerve, when you make him feel something soft, something real, he panics. He starts answering with less excitement. He goes from long messages to short ones, From calling you first to "I've been busy," from showing up to disappearing, and you think it means you don't matter. But sometimes it means you matter too much, because the more he feels, the more he worries he can't control it. And when a man feels he's losing control inside, he tries to gain control outside. How? With distance. Distance is his shield. It's his way of saying, "Let me breathe." But here's the part people miss. Distance doesn't delete the feeling. It just hides it. So don't let that cold tone trick you too fast. A man can act distant and still be completely caught up in his own head about you. Source. Let's get into what that looks like in real life, because the signs are loud if you know where to look. First, he gets quiet, but he stays aware. You might not hear from him, but you feel him. He's watching even if he's not speaking. He may not like your post, he may not comment, he may scroll past like you're nothing, but that doesn't mean he didn't stop on it. It means he's trying not to show his hand, because his pride is talking. His pride is saying, don't let her know she still has power. So he stays silent on purpose, but your name stays in his search bar. Your pictures stay on his phone. Your voice still plays in his mind when the night gets too quiet. Second, he becomes a silent observer. You think he ghosted, but he's lurking, checking your stories fast, using a backup page, asking around without asking you, reading old messages, not to be funny, but because he misses the feeling. Third, he becomes extra curious about your life now, not because he's just being friendly, because he wants to know if he still matters. Source. And here's the part that stings. When he sees signs you might be moving on, it lights a fire in him. He may not show it on the outside. He may keep the same poker face, but inside it hits. Jealousy starts talking. Regret starts creeping in. He starts wondering who's around you, who's making you smile, who's getting your time. He watches your captions like they're coded messages. He reads your confidence like a warning sign. He sees you glowing, unbothered, still shining, and it messes with his head because he remembers when he had access to that energy. And he might not react publicly, but he reacts privately. He stares longer than you think. He replays moments. He compares new people to you. He hears a song and it pulls him back. That's why you'll sometimes see the random reaction after weeks of nothing, the sudden like on something old, the quick view on your story, the message that feels small but hits big. Don't click away, because the next sign is one of the clearest signs you're in his head. Source. Another big sign is this. His friends already know about you. You might meet them for the first time, and they already know details they shouldn't know unless he's been talking. What you do, what you like, the little things you mentioned one time, and they'll act casual, like it's nothing, but you can feel it, like they've heard your name before. Because when a man is truly caught up, he can't keep you out of his stories. You slip into his jokes, his memories, his remember when moments, and his boys notice the change in him. They saw him check his phone more when you were around. They saw him try harder. They saw him turn down other women like it wasn't even tempting. They saw him soften without realizing he was doing it. So if he's acting like you were just some girl, that can be his ego trying to protect him. Sometimes a man downplays what he couldn't hold on to. He'll shrug when someone brings you up like, we don't even talk. But he won't mention how loud that silence feels in his chest. And if he gets annoyed when your name comes up, that's not always anger at you. Sometimes that's pain at himself. Source. Now let's talk about one of the most sneaky signs. He starts mirroring you. This is where it gets weirdly obvious. You stop texting first, suddenly he stops too. You stop liking his posts, suddenly he pulls back on yours. You wait longer to reply, now he waits longer. That is not a coincidence. That is him matching your pace so he doesn't feel like the one who cares more. Because even when he's acting over it, he's still studying you. He's still tuned into your rhythm. A man who truly doesn't care will not notice your patterns. He won't adjust with your mood. He won't match your silence. But a man who's emotionally connected, he can't help it. He responds without responding. You post a quote about letting go. He posts something about missing what's real. You start showing up more confident. He suddenly changes his tone too. He's trying to stay connected without being vulnerable. And when you finally go quiet for real, when you stop chasing, stop fixing, stop checking, watch him get restless. He won't call, but he'll view your story in seconds. He won't text, but he'll post something that feels like it's aimed at you. That's him hoping you break first, so he doesn't have to admit he's been waiting. Source. Here comes another sign that hits hard. The random check-in right when you start moving on. The moment you feel your peace coming back. The moment you stop thinking about him morning and night. Boom. Hey stranger. Just checking on you. How you been? And you sit there like, why now? Because he felt the shift. He felt you pulling away. He sensed you were no longer waiting, no longer needing, no longer available in the same way. And that scares him, because even if he isn't ready to give you what you deserve, he still doesn't want to lose the connection. That check-in is often not about love. It's about access. He wants to know if the door is still open, if you'll still answer, if your heart still reacts when his name lights up your screen. Late-night messages aren't always accidents. They're weak moments. They're him sitting in silence, fighting himself, wanting you without wanting to admit he wants you. So he hides behind casual words, small questions, safe lines. Not enough to repair the damage, just enough to test your temperature. If you answer fast, he feels powerful again. If you ignore it, it eats at him, because now he can't pretend you're still there. Source. And listen carefully to this part. Do not confuse attention with commitment. Some men will poke your heart just to see if it still opens. They want the comfort of knowing you're still theirs in some way without doing the work to actually keep you. That's why it's a like here, a comment there. I saw this and thought of you, but no real step forward. He wants warmth without getting burned. He wants the benefits of closeness while avoiding the risk of being exposed. He wants to be the one who left, but also the one who gets welcomed back if he ever decides to return. That's control in a soft voice. And it can feel confusing because it looks like care for a second. But real care has direction. Real care shows up clearly. So when he acts distant but keeps circling back, it tells you something. He's not fully gone. He's hovering. He's hanging around the edges of your life, hoping you keep a space for him, even if he's not ready to fill it properly. Stay with me, because the next sign explains why you can feel him even when he says nothing. Source. Another sign you're in his head is how his memory works. When a man is truly affected, he remembers small details, the things you forgot you even said, how you like your drink at night, the movie you hated, the way your voice changes when you get excited. And even if he's trying to look fine in public, that memory follows him. He can laugh with friends and still feel empty later. He can sit with someone new and still compare them to you. You become the standard in his mind, the quiet measuring stick. A certain song comes on, you show up. He drives past a familiar place, you show up. He sees someone smile a certain way, you show up. That's what happens when a woman leaves an emotional mark. She doesn't just disappear, she echoes. And when he's alone, when the noise is off, that's when your name gets loud in his head. He may want to reach out and say, I miss you, but pride blocks him. He thinks, what if she's over me? What if I look weak? So he stays quiet, but quiet doesn't mean free. Quiet can mean conflict. It can mean he's still fighting himself, still trying to bury what he feels. But feelings like that don't stay buried forever. They show up in hesitation, in stalking your page when he thinks nobody sees, in flinching when someone mentions you. Source. So if he's acting distant after being close, don't automatically label it as the end. Sometimes it means you touch something real and he wasn't ready for how real it felt. He's scared of losing control, but he's also scared of losing you. And that battle makes men do strange things. Pull away, go quiet, act cold, then pop back up like nothing happened. It's not always a game. Sometimes it's fear dressed up as confidence. But here's the truth that keeps you grounded. His distance does not define your value. His silence does not erase your impact. If he's hooked, his behavior will leak the truth. He will watch. He will mirror. He will check in at the wrong time. He will pretend not to care while still carrying you in his head. And eventually he will do one of two things. He will come correct with real effort, or he will stay haunted by the woman who got into his mind and never fully left. And if you're still listening right now, you already know this part is real. Some women don't fade, they echo source.